About 1 year ago, I successfully passed my OSCP exam and became an offensive security certified professional. It was a very intense 3 months of preparation, and the 48-hour exam was not so easy, but still I managed to pass with 95 out of 100 points. Of course, without having practiced so much as I did, I wouldn't have succeeded, but a good part of the credit must also be given to my notes, which really saved me a lot of time throughout the entire course. So, hoping to help someone else, I decided to explain in this video my note-taking strategy, which software I use, and how I manage all my notes for CTF and penetration testing activities. Before starting, if you enjoyed the video at any point or you find it interesting, please let me know it with a comment and dropping a like. And if you are new here and you're interested in other content like this, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new content. Without spending any more time, let's get started. Okay, so let's start right away talking about the two apps I use. The first one, which was the only one I used during my OSCP journey, is Obsidian. Obsidian is much more than a note-taking app. It's a so-called second brain. I don't wanna dig too deep into the program since that's not the purpose of the video, but the one single reason that made me choose this one over all the other competitors was the graph view, that for me was a game changer, but more about this feature later. The second note-taking application I use is Notion, which to be honest I only started using recently. As with Obsidian, also Notion isn't technically just a note-taking app, but it's more a project management framework solution. The reasons why I moved partially from Obsidian to Notion I will tell you later. However, feel free to use the chapters in the description to jump directly to the part of the video where I explain it. Poking around on YouTube, I noticed that really no one is talking about using Obsidian as a note-taking app for OSCP or even CTFs. The recommended programs are always the same: OneNote, Typora, Joplin, even Cherrytree. Yeah, I agree that all of them are great for note-taking purposes, but they lack the possibility to graphically show you how notes are related to each other. And trust me, for OSCP Lab, but also for other labs like the one offered by Hack the Box, this feature is so damn useful. It is well known that the OSCP Lab consists of several networks, some of them segregated, several active directories, and several machines dependent on each other. Being able to clearly see these connections and relationships between the various boxes allows you to have a much clearer view of the whole and save you a great amount of variable time. Between all the candidates, Obsidian was the only one meeting this requirement. The other features I really like about Obsidian are the possibility to directly pass snippets of codes within a specifically designed block which supports different highlighting, the ability to assign different hashtags to nodes and search for them via specific queries or from the tag list, and the possibility to store images within a specific subfolder, passing them directly into the editor. This last feature is really handy while doing CTFs and penetration tests, and allows you to really speed up your note-taking process. Talking about organizing notes and speeding up writing, the best way is to do it using a well-designed template. My standard template for boot root machines looks like the following one. A bunch of headers at the very beginning, helping me categorize each box and assign them some identifying tags. A high-level resolution summary describing the key steps to solve the machine, the used tools and the most important takeaways for that activity, an information gathering section dedicated to the various scan, an enumeration section containing the enumeration steps for any open port, an exploitation section describing the vulnerability and the whole exploitation phase, and two other very similar sections dedicated to the lateral movement or to the privilege escalation process. At the very end, there is the trophy and loot section containing all the various loot from the box, including flags and credentials. Having a well-organized and ordered structure like the following one helps you keep a clear and always fresh idea of what you're doing, but at the same time permits you to already create an almost final report while just taking notes. Because Obsidian uses Markdown, it's also very easy to format text on the go, providing a very convenient and pleasing working environment. The real power of the tool, however, occurs by starting to link nodes together. You can link them by using both traditional links or embed frame. Imagine you have a very complex and articulated network, like the OSCP one. How can you find which machine is related to the others, or where was that particular pivoting point you found early? Well, Just take a look by yourself. The graph view is so amazing in my opinion and provide a very effective way to take good notes and in the meanwhile map them inside a conceptual schema. You only need to take a quick look at the graph view to identify the segregated network, the various subnets, the interconnected machines, and everything else you decide to map. Depending on how far you wanna go, you can even start mapping users and user relations, making the diagram more and more complex but also even more detailed. As I said, so freaking amazing. But there are also some cons. Obsidian is perfect for working locally. Every file is stored on the local disk in plain text, and you can easily extend your existing notebooks by simply adding new notes every time you want. Because of that, the tool is super useful also to build cheat sheets and study notes, as you can see from the one I created using this tool. Cheat sheets are essential for OSCP, so try to write down all the most useful commands in a well-organized way, so that when you need them, you can find them instantly. The problem that I had, however, was the fact that these notes are always just stored locally on your machine, and if you need them or you don't have with you your SSD, you're done. Yeah, you can argue that you can store them inside some synchronized folders and access them from the cloud. But however, to be able to easily use them, you still have the limitation of having to install some external program, and sometimes this is not possible, and especially on corporate assets. To overcome this limitation, so I decided to move almost completely to Notion, which is a browser-based application and no longer client-dependent like Obsidian. Thankfully, these two programs are very well integrated, and all I had to do was import all my notes into the new framework and just adjust the links between them. Easy peasy. Unlike Obsidian, Notion also gives you the option of using databases to organize your notes, allowing you to create tables that can be managed just like the tables in a DB. This function is very useful because it provides a very efficient way to filter, manage, and search a huge amount of content in a very flexible way. Let's assume I want to find all the machines where exploited a path traversal related vulnerability. All I have to do is simply set a couple of filters on the tags I have assigned for every machine, and voila, everything I was searching is right there. Notion also extends the already good Obsidian's browsing experience, giving the ability to create notes in the form of a website, share them with anyone, or even makes your templates available to others as well, providing a great ease of use and accessibility to anyone. Now I can access, read, and modify all my notes from everywhere using any kind of device. This is amazing. No more access problem, almost all of the Obsidian features also available within Notion. Definitely my go-to environment for organizing and taking notes and cheat sheets, with the only exception of complicated interconnected stuff. If the activity involves a network or potentially interconnected elements, Obsidian and the graph view remain without a doubt my absolute first choice. Otherwise, I would use Notion. This is how I manage my notes and my cheat sheets using Notion and Obsidian. I really suggest you to give these two programs a shot. They can really save you a lot of time during your activities. Would you be interested into using my own templates as a starting point for your workflow? Let me know it in the comment section below, so that in the case I can make them public. Thanks to everyone who stayed with me up to here. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you find it useful. If so, please consider leaving me a like and subscribe to the channel so that we can meet again in the next video. Having said that, see you next time. Ciao!